my wife and I had an issue, and she went to my office to report me to my boss. I almost lost my job, and now I'm falling out of love with her. How should I rebuild the love? Goodness, this is deep. Like, wow, that's a serious breach of trust, if you ask me. I was a bit scared of losing my boyfriend, who is now my husband, and I started getting jealous about him talking to certain friends, especially female. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole Hillary, and I'm super excited to have you join So Serenity Podcast today. So today's episode is a fallout from last week's episode, that is a continuation of the topic, is jealousy normal? These are real issues that many couples face, and we've got some powerful questions from our listeners as a result of last week's episode. Now, I know that these questions are going to resonate with a lot of you listening today, and I've been there, all right? So let's not sugarcoat it at all. We're going to get real and practical about how to handle these challenges when they arrive. Now, I'm going to be looking down into my laptop to read out the questions to us. So when you see me looking down, I'm looking at my laptop. So let's dive right in. Now, the first question is, should spouses check each other's phones? Okay, let's talk about it. Yes, spouses should have access to each other's phone. And no, they shouldn't be checking to look out for exhibits or whatever they are looking for on the phone. Okay, here is the thing. I get why people want to check their partner's phones, okay? Early in my marriage, I used to do that a lot. Like, my husband has a lot of female friends, so you see me snooping around his phone looking for what I don't know. And do I really want to find something? Hell no, because of course I love my husband and I wouldn't want the marriage to crash, right? So what exactly was I looking for? I really don't know. So trust me, you really don't want to see what you think you're looking for. So there is really no point checking into your husband's phones or your wife's phone. And trust me, sometimes messages may even be very, very innocent, but because you are looking for something, then it becomes a thing. So although those days I didn't find nothing, I kept looking. What am I looking for? I really could not tell. So one night, I almost picked up his phone to look again, as usual, when he was out of the room. But then I stopped myself and asked myself, why? Because I realized that if I needed to check his phone to feel secure, then the issue wasn't the phone. The issue was me. It was my lack of trust, and it was also my insecurities. All right. So instead of snooping, I sat down with my husband and said, hey, I've been feeling a little insecure. Can we talk about it? Trust me, that conversation was really hard, because it was obviously my insecurities, but it was way better than trying to find answers through spying, because trust me, spying is very time consuming and exhausting. So I've also heard people say, oh, I don't want surprises. I'd rather check my husband's phone. I don't want to sit down and then he brings in another family. Others will say, I'd rather check my wife's phone because hell no, I don't want surprises and I just want to know what she's up to at every single point. Now, my advice is, if you ever feel like you need to check your partner's phone, that's a sign you should have a conversation, not a secret investigation. Build a relationship where you both can feel safe enough to share anything without hiding. So the second question is jealousy among couples truly normal? Yes, to an extent, I would say a little bit of jealousy can actually be sweet. It just makes you feel loved and, just feel like your partner truly cares. I remember some times ago, my husband was very uncomfortable about me being friends with some particular guy, and he definitely told me in a very polite way that he was not comfortable with me being friends with the person, and could we talk about it. I appreciated how he handled it, because he didn't lash out or accuse me. He just simply said it made him felt uncomfortable seeing me being friends with the person or talking to the person for some reasons, and I respected that. Okay, so how you handle jealousy is very, very key. Jealousy is normal, but the way you handle it really, really matters. So if your jealousy is controlling, possessive, or accusatory, that's when it becomes toxic. So instead of saying, why are you talking to that person? Try saying, I felt a bit uncomfortable when I saw you talking to them. Can we talk about it? Which is what my husband did, right? That's the best way to handle it. So that way your partner doesn't feel like you're attacking them or accusing them falsely. So it's about owning up to your feelings without making your partner feel attacked. That creates a more open space for honesty rather than defensiveness. Now, the third question is, I lost my friend as a result of jealousy because she was talking to other friends. How do I build a relationship back? Oops, this one hits close home because I've had this similar experience before in my friendship and also in my dating life. So earlier in my dating life, I was a bit scared of losing my boyfriend, who is now my husband, and I started getting jealous about him talking to certain friends, especially females. So I will make sarcastic comments or give him a cold shoulder when he comes to me thereafter. But eventually he sat me down one day and said, look, this isn't going to work because I need to feel trusted. You need to trust me. And girl, that was the wake up call for me. I had to realize that my jealousy wasn't about him. It was just about my fear of losing him or my fear of not being enough. So here is what I did to help me rebuild the trust. First, I apologized to him without any excuses. I just said I was sorry that I made him feel the way he felt and that it was about my insecurities and it had nothing to do with him. Then I worked on building my own self-confidence, because once you have your self-confidence, then you don't have nothing to worry about. So I started reminding myself why he even chose me in the first place. He had those many female friends. He had those girls around him, but he chose me. So why did I need to worry? So that helped me build my confidence back. And then finally, I started giving them the benefit of the doubt and practicing trust, even when it felt uncomfortable. So amongst my friends as well, sometimes I feel not jealous per se. I just feel envious when, for example, my best friend is hanging out with another friend. Not because I'm jealous, but because I just feel envious that I wish I could be there with them at that point. So if you ever feel like your jealousy is getting bitter, or when your friend is getting close to someone else, you're getting bitter, then you know that you need help. You need to step back, have a rethink, build your self-confidence back, build your own trust back, and then of course you drive away every insecurities when you have your confidence. So this is what you should do. Follow the steps I've mentioned in the way I handled my issue with my husband, and then you draw your friendship back close to yourself. Now, the fourth question that someone have asked is, my husband is jealous of my success and tries to frustrate me into leaving my job. What should I do? Oops, this one is very tough because it's not just about the jealousy. It's what you went through. Like, why? I had a friend who had a similar issue. She got promoted at work and started earning more than her husband. And instead of celebrating her, he started undermining her success. You know, he made silly comments like, oh, must be nice to have it all easy. How the hell do you know she had it easy? The girl worked hard for it to get promoted to that level. So now this is what worked for her, and you can also emulate. She had direct, honest conversation with him. And she told him, I need you to be my teammate, not my competitor. Because, guy, that's a competitor attitude. If you see your spouse as a competitor, then it becomes a problem. Then she asked him how he was feeling, and it turned out that he was even feeling very, very bad. He was feeling like he was not contributing enough to the marriage, and that was why he was acting that way. He had no right acting that way, but again, feelings are normal, right? So my advice is this: acknowledge his feelings without enabling them. Say something like, I understand this might be threatening to you, but I need your support, rather than criticizing me, because we're a team and not competitors. Then encourage him to explore his own goals. Because sometimes jealousy fades away. Both parties feel they are meeting their own sense of purpose. Also, set boundaries. Your success is not a threat to your marriage. If he continues trying to sabotage you, then that's a deeper problem and you need professional help, okay? So you don't need to shrink for them. A strong marriage should have a room for both parties to thrive. And that's it. The fifth question is, my wife and I had an issue and she went to my office to report me to my boss. I almost lost my job and now I'm falling out of love with her. How should I rebuild the love? Goodness, this is deep. Like, wow, that's a serious breach of trust if you ask me. I can't imagine how painful that must have been. But not to worry, you are not alone. I've had a friend as well who went through something very similar when their partner exposed the personal issue they had to their boss. It wasn't just about the betrayal. It was about how it made them feel small and unsafe. So these things do happen. Now, the first step is to get to the root of why she did what she did. Was she trying to hurt you, or did she genuinely not recognize the consequences? If you get this answer from her, then it will help you manage it better. But either way, accountability is very, very key. She needs to acknowledge that what she has done is wrong. No excuses. No excuses at all. And then when she owns up, then you can then try rebuilding the trust. This is going to take time. It's not going to come easy, but it will eventually happen. So first of all, express how it made you feel without anger. Say something like, when you went to my boss, it made me feel humiliated and betrayed. What did you think? Why did you do what you did? Then ask her why she felt that it was your boss that she needed to talk to. Get her opinion. If she shows true remorse and is willing to work it out, then rebuilding trust starts from there. It starts small, but it definitely will happen. So reconnect through simple acts of kindness and consistencies. But if she deflates and minimizes or refuses to take responsibility, then that's a deeper problem. All right. So falling back in love will require some accountability and forgiveness. So you need to be able to forgive her, and she needs to take accountability for her action. So trust can be rebuilt, but both parties must be willing to meet each other halfway. Okay, these are all the 5 questions that I got this week, and I really hope that I've answered your questions. If not, you can drop me an email and we'll readdress whatever concerns you have. We've covered some really deep stuff today. Trust and jealousy are tricky, but they don't have to define your relationship. If you are dealing with similar issues, just take a moment to reflect, communicate honestly, and give each other grace. Grace is very, very important. And remember, love is built on understanding and not control. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like, and share with someone who needs to hear this. Now, until next time, take care.